It has been projected that bigger parties may win less proportional seats in the upcoming elections, as the number of parties crossing the 3% threshold is expected to rise compared to 2017 general elections. 5 parties had crossed the minimum threshold, gathering around 90% of the total votes last time. The growing popularity of the independent candidates, who are now organized as new parties, is mainly attributed to this new scenario. Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Prices of daily consumable items, including rice and edible oil, increased just ahead of elections. Experts call it an unusual trend as the consumers bear the brunt. Textbooks fail to reach Karnali with only 4 months remaining of the academic session. Janak Education tries to escape the responsibility by pointing at contractors. Israel's President Isaac Herzog to invite Benjamin Netanyahu to form Israel's next government. Leader Netanyahu to take the country's top job for a record 6th time. And the PM Cup final hit by controversy as Army includes Sompal Kami in the team. APF win the toss and field first. The match reduced to 40 overs aside. Business persons have hiked the prices of daily consumable items, which experts say is to recover the funds they have given to political parties and candidates of the elections. Consumers continue to bear the brunt of skyrocketing prices as the Department of Commerce has remained silent. A bag of 5-kilogram wheat flour that was priced at 330 rupees a few weeks ago now costs 435 rupees. The price for rice has gone up by 300 rupees per sack, despite India removing the 20% tax on rice exports to Nepal, while the price of cooking oil has also increased by up to 50 rupees per litre. Past trends since 3 decades have shown that businesses unnaturally hike prices of daily consumable items during elections. Meanwhile, the department has failed to conduct market monitoring and take actions against the guilty, citing lack of officials amid elections. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what is the reason behind unnatural rise in prices of goods during election? Your options are A. Business persons' high-handedness, B. Result of nexus, and C. Deceiving the consumers. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, candidates and parties have been harping on commitments of development and transformations to convince voters as the November 20 elections inch closer. At the same time, a majority of these candidates seem to have missed out on assurances of forming better policies, which is a primary role of lawmakers. Speaking at an election assembly in Dharan yesterday, CPN Yamal Chair KP Sharma Oli committed he and his party would make up for the lack of leadership that the local levels had been struggling with. In Gorkha, CPN Maoist Center Chair Pushpa Kamal Dahal continued with his promises of infrastructure development. Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa, who had reached Sudur Paschim province to persuade the voters, spoke of similar assurances. Aspirants and leaders who have served as lawmakers at the federal parliament have all been distributing dreams of constructing roads, infrastructures for supplying drinking water and electricity, among others. However, majority of these candidates have not talked of strengthening the parliament to force better policies and hold the government more accountable to the public. Top brass leaders of main political parties in their speeches have been making assurances of the participation of youths in elections. However, the number of youth candidates fielded by the parties for the upcoming November 20 elections has been disappointing. There are a total of 5,636 candidates in the fray for the 165 seats in House of Representatives and 330 seats in the Provincial Assembly. Out of the 5,636 candidates, 1,766 are youths under the age of 40, which is only 31.33%. Out of the 2,412 candidates for the parliament elections, 759 are under the age of 40. Towards the provincial assembly elections, 1,007 of the total 3,224 candidates are youth below age of 40 years. Out of these 759 youth candidates for the House of Representatives, 356 are independent, while 403 are from political parties. This shows that the political parties have discouraged youths from running in the elections. Main political parties that have been saying that they have prioritized youths to run in elections, have put forth a low number of candidates for the upcoming elections. For the parliamentary elections, CPN-UML has fielded 7 youth candidates, CPN Maoist Centre 6, while Nepali Congress has only fielded 3 candidates. Meanwhile, Rashtriya Swatantra Party has fielded the highest number of 72 youth candidates in the 131 election constituencies it has filed candidacies in. Likewise, Rashtriya Prajatantra Party has 26 youth candidates, Loktantrik Samajwadi Party has 15, while Vivekshil Saza Party has only 2 candidates. Meanwhile, in the province assembly elections, in fact, CPN Maoist Centre has fielded 21 youth candidates, CPN-UML 17 and Nepali Congress 15. The scenario points out that as the main political parties have not fielded enough youth candidates for the upcoming elections, youth representation will likely not be enough in the parliament. Now, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked people in several provinces what should be done to conclude the elections in a peaceful manner. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
आम मतदाताले अब संयमित अनुशासित भएर भोट हाल्नु पर्यो।
मतदान केन्द्रहरुमा 4वटै सुरक्षा निकायको सक्रियता बढाउनु पर्छ।
आफ्नो मत स्वेच्छाधारी ढंगले हाल्ने खालको वातावरण चाहिँ गरिदिनु पर्यो।
मतदाता नै सचेत हुनु पर्यो।
जनतालाई नै सचेत र यो चाहिँ मतदाता शिक्षाको विषयमा अलिकति ज्ञान दिन जरुरी छ।
जनताको पनि महत्त्वपूर्ण भूमिका रहन्छ।
जनतालाई भयरहित तरिकाले मेरो नभनिकन भोट हाल्न दिनुपर्छ।
उम्मेदवार त्यसपछि राजनीतिक दल र निर्वाचन आयोगको उत्तिकै भूमिका हुन्छ।
उम्मेदवार, कर्मचारी, मतदाताले निर्वाचन आचार संहिताको पूर्ण रूपमा पालना गर्नुपर्दछ।
प्रशासन निष्पक्ष ढंगले चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ।
सबैले निर्वाचन आचार संहिताको पालना गर्नुपर्छ।
मतदाताहरूलाई स्वतन्त्र र निष्पक्ष ढंगले मत दिने वातावरण तयार गर्नुपर्छ।
सुरक्षा निकाय सतर्क र सजग हुनुपर्छ।
जनतामा चाहिँ प्रचार प्रसारको माध्यमलाई सहजीकरण गर्नुपर्यो।
प्रहरी प्रशासनसँगै जनता पनि स्वयं जागरुक भएर लाग्नुपर्छ।
निर्वाचन आयोगले आफ्नो पहुँच, सुविधा र साधन र मतदातालाई उत्प्रेरित गर्न चाहिँ म छु भनेर देखाउन सक्नु पर्यो।
पुलिस प्रशासनले राम्रोसँग काम गरिदिए पुग्छ।
सबैको मिलोमतो भयो भने हामीले निर्वाचन राम्रो तरिकाले सम्पन्न गर्न सकिन्छ।
पुलिसहरूलाई सक्रिय हुनुपर्छ।
सञ्चारकर्मी र स्थानीयहरूले आफ्नो भूमिका राम्ररी निर्वाह गरेर मात्र
निर्वाचन आयोगले कसैले काखा र कसैलाई चाहिँ पाखा गर्यो भने यो निर्वाचन चाहिँ राम्रोसँग हुन सक्दैन।
स्थानीय प्रशासनलाई मजबुत बनाउनु पर्यो।
The ongoing academic session ends in around 4 months' time. However, several districts of Karnali province are yet to receive all the books of their curriculum due to lack of government efforts. On top of lengthy and difficult journeys to their schools from their homes, children in Kalikot, a geographically remote district of Karnali province, have yet to receive books. Only a few have received half the number of books required to fulfill their academic curriculum. Due to the lack of facilities like rooms, desks and benches, schools are also struggling to accommodate students properly. Those in 10th grade are worried as their secondary education examination SEE is scheduled in about 5 months' time. Kalikot, with 9 local levels, has a total of 294 community schools and its literacy rate stands at 53%. Due to lack of timely supply of books, regular classes and infrastructures, children of the district have been deprived of quality education. This issue, however, has yet to make it to the election manifestos of most political parties and candidates. Meanwhile, the Janak Education Material Centre, a government entity that has been undertaking the works of printing books in accordance with the curriculum set by the government, has claimed it has delivered all the books to several districts of Karnali province, except for a few subjects of grades 6 and 8. The chief of the centre's office in Karnali province has said around 8,000 books for maths and English for grade 6 and social studies, English and health for grade 8 are yet to reach Surkhet, Dailek and Jajarkot district schools. The central office has said efforts are underway to deliver the remaining books. The Janak Education Material Centre has said delay on part of contractors has been causing issues in delivering of the books. Meanwhile, books for grades 4 to 10 worth 18.5 million rupees have been sold in the ongoing academic year. Printing of books, however, has been on hold due to lack of papers since August. And it's time now for international update. Israel's President Isaac Herzog has announced he will invite Benjamin Netanyahu to form Israel's next government, paving the way for him to take the country's top job for a record 6th time and extend his record as the nation's longest-serving leader. Herzog made the announcement after meeting with all the factions in parliament, the Knesset, to ask who they would back for prime minister. Herzog will officially issue the mandate to Netanyahu tomorrow. Under Israeli law, Netanyahu will have 28 days to form a new government, with the possibility of a 14-day extension if required. During negotiations, Netanyahu will have to divide up ministries among his coalition partners and haggle over policies. With a 4-seat majority in the 120-seat parliament, the 5 factions allied with Netanyahu's Likud are all potential kingmakers. An economic forecast by the European Commission has said many European Union countries in fact, and the Eurozone, the group of 19 EU member states that uses the euro, will slide into an economic recession in the winter due to increasing uncertainty and soaring inflation. Based on the European Commission's autumn economic forecast released yesterday, the energy crisis triggered by the Russia-Ukraine conflict has eroded household purchasing power and corporate productivity. The external trade environment has weakened and monetary policy has been tightened, all of which will jointly lead to a recession in the EU in the current quarter. The report noted that gross domestic product, or GDP, is expected to see a growth of around 3.3% in the EU and 3.2% in the Eurozone due to the easing of COVID-19 restriction measures, well above the 2.7% projected in the summer interim forecast. The Commission also said that the economy may contract in the last 3 months of this year and continue to shrink in the first quarter of 2023, forecasting that the Eurozone's economic growth will slow down sharply to 0.3% next year. Unemployment rates in the EU are projected to stand at 6.2% in 2022 and 6.5% in 2023. Incumbent Democrat Mark Kelly has defeated Republican Blake Masters to win a U.S. Senate seat in Arizona, a contest that left Democrats 1 seat short in the battle for control of the chamber, with 2 more races to be decided. The win by Kelly, a former astronaut whose wife Gabby Gifford survived an assassination attempt when she was a U.S. lawmaker, meant Democrats had battled to a 49-49 tie in the race for the Senate. Control of the Senate and the shape of President Joe Biden's next 2 years in office will now hinge on contests in Nevada and Georgia. Biden's party avoided historical trends by limiting their losses in Tuesday's midterm elections, shocking Republicans who had expected big gains. Democrats needed 1 more seat for control, since Vice President Kamala Harris can cast the tie-breaking vote. The final of the Prime Minister's Cup cricket tournament between Armed Police Force and Tribhuvan Army invited controversy as the match was significantly delayed. The final at TU Cricket Ground was scheduled for 9 a.m. kickoff. However, APF protested at the beginning of the match since Tribhuvan Army included all-rounder Sompal Kami in their squad. Sompal earlier had not made it to the squad as he was reported sick. The Army team defended the move, citing that the technical committee was informed 24 hours back. Meanwhile, the match was delayed by almost 2 hours. Armed Police Force won the toss and invited their opponents to bat first. The match has been reduced to 40 overs per side due to the delayed start. Dashing young batsman Rohit Paudel has been appointed the skipper of Nepal's national cricket team. The position of Nepal's captain had remained vacant following the sacking of disgraced former skipper Sandeep Lamichhane, who is on judicial custody on alleged charges of raping a minor. The Cricket Association of Nepal appointed 20-year-old Rohit as the new skipper late yesterday. Rohit had also led Nepal to a clean sweep against Kenya in the 3-match series in September. Rohit previously had led the national under-19 team. Rohit had debuted with a match against the Netherlands in 2018. Rohit holds the record for the highest score in an international match for Nepal. He had scored 126 runs against Papua New Guinea last April to break the record of Paras Khadka, who had scored 109 against UAE. Former skipper Gyanendra Malla has praised the CAN decision of appointing Rohit as the new captain of the national squad. GAN has also announced a 16-member squad to take on UAE for the home series that begins from Monday. Hari Shankar Shah has made it to the national team for the first time. Kushal Bhurtel, Lalit Raj Bansi, Bhim Sarki, Kamal Singh Airi, Sagar Thakal, Gulshan Jha have returned to the team again. Now, with the start of the World Cup just over a week away, international fans have already begun descending on Doha and are mixing in with local fans to pick their favorite squads to support. Fans, many of them Indian migrants living in Qatar, donned the colours of their favorite teams and took to the streets of Doha to show their support. The Brazil fan contingent claims to be the largest in Qatar, and they did not disappoint as they marched near the National Museum of Qatar dressed in Brazilian green and yellow. Fans even had a life-size cutout of Brazil megastar Neymar Jr. Qatar will open the World Cup tournament when they face Ecuador on November 20. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.